Hey everyone, going to do a quick video today on how to make the E flat minor dance track for your Unit 32 project. Yeah, so this is going to be in GarageBand, as you can probably see. There will be videos for Logic, BandLabs and Studio One if you are using any of those platforms, so just have a search for those if you are using any of those platforms. Cool, so let's get straight in. First of all, let's get the files. So obviously go to the portal and then go to Documents. Okay, and then we go to Shared Work. And then we go to Music Department, and then Resources, and then BTEC Music Technology, Year 1, and then Unit 32. And then at the top here, you'll see Unit 32 E flat minor dance. Okay, so we'll just click on that. And then what we've got here, we have 2 demo tracks at the top here. So these are really good. It's a good point of reference for you guys to have. Yeah, if you wanted to get an idea of what you're trying to go for. And then down here, we have the instructions. So if you just highlight those, control click or right click, whatever, depending on whether you're using PC or Mac, and then download, and then that should be fine. Okay, so right, so I've got the PDF here. There you go. So I've got the PDF here. So all you need to do really is just follow this step by step. Okay, it's really it's pretty self-explanatory really, because it literally just drags you through everything you need to do. So number 1, set up new project session called Your Name E flat minor dance. Okay, so we can just do Command S to save, and then your name, or do it with your first name. Oh, sorry, with your last name first. So Ollie, E flat minor dance. All right, there you go. So save it like that. Save. What is next? So then we need to set up an instrument track. So we've already got one here, so that's all right. And make sure the tempo is 120 BPM. Okay, so it is automatically set to 110 BPM in GarageBand. So we'll just drag that up to 120. Yep, that's fine. Okay. And then what's next? Number 3, search for an electronic drum kit. Okay, so this intro thing, so this first section is drums. Okay, we're making the drums to begin with. Okay, I'll tell you what could be an idea is if you actually drag in one of the demo tracks. So let's just have a listen to that first. Actually, that'll probably be easier. So. Okay, so that's sort of what we're going for. That is more or less what we're trying to make here. Okay, and as I say, it doesn't have to be the exact same sounds necessarily. It doesn't have to be the exact same drum kit or the exact same bass sound, but the melody, the beat, all that sort of stuff should be the same, more or less. But anyway, let's crack on. So we'll just leave that there, just as a point of reference, but we shall mute it for now because we don't want to hear it. Okay, so let's get the drums going. So on the sheet it says get some sort of dancey sound, some sort of 909 kind of sound. So down here we got Roland TR909. Okay, so if you go into the side part here, into the library, click on that, and then you should see electronic drum kit here, and then you've got all your sort of EDM sort of kits down here. All right, so you can just search 909, and then you got your TR909. So just double click on that, and there you go. Next thing you want to do is create a MIDI region. Okay, so control click, create MIDI region, and then just drag that out for 4 bars. Okay, we'll just do that for now. Right, let's see what the thing says. Okay, so search. Drum kit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now we want to open the piano roll so we just double click, open piano roll, and then we can see the notes. Okay, so let's just have a little listen to the sounds here. So C1 will be the kick. Okay, and then we get some toms. We should have cymbals, like hi-hats and stuff, hopefully, or maybe not. Oh, there you go. Okay, nice clap there. Okay, cool. So we've got that. Okay, so number 5, click the keys at the left-hand side of the piano roll to feel sounds. Yep, so that's what we just did. And then number 6, start by drawing the following rhythm into one bar. Okay, so you can sort of see how it should look. Okay, so you got kick, snare, closed hat, open hat. Okay, so let's have a go at making that. So if you want to input a note, you hit Command and then click. Okay, and then it creates a note. So we've got that kick there. Okay, and then we have our snare. Up to you sort of what sounds you go for. I might just use that one. Nice clap sound. And then we can get the open hi-hat. There you go. Okay, so as we can see here, we've got kick, closed hi-hat on beat 2, and then we have kick and snare in the next bar. Okay, so let's go. It should sound like, and then we have another one here, and then basically go like this. Okay, so we have a kick on beat 1, and then we have a hi-hat on the offbeat. We then have a kick and snare on beat 2, and then another hi-hat on the offbeat. Kick on beat 3, another hi-hat on the offbeat, and then kick and snare on beat 4. But then on the final offbeat, we have a open hi-hat. Okay, there you go. So it should sound like that, okay? And we can check that that's right by listening to this. Okay, so we can just solo that. We can just listen to the original. Listen to the drums, see if it sounds about right. Okay, so that sounds right to me. Maybe. Tell you what, seeing as it says snare, I'll use this snare just because it doesn't say clap, it says snare. Cool, so check your rhythm, we've done that. Brilliant, this drum line. Okay, and then what we want to do is make sure this is 4 bars long. So as we can see here, I know I told you to drag it out, but you can just drag that back and then just copy it over. Okay, so the way you do that is you click on it, hit Alt or Option, and then you click, and then you drag it. Okay, and then you let go. Okay, so Alt, Option, click, drag that over. Okay, and then we have 4 bars of this beat. Okay, cool. Great, and there you have your drums. So let's go over, make sure you save your work. Save it back up your Logic file on a different drive. Okay, yeah, so just make sure that you back your work up. This is really important because you don't want to get to the end of it and, you know, lose your lose your project, because that would obviously result in a lot more work for you, which would be a bit of a pain. So keep a backup in a different drive. Save it initially in your documents logic and make a backup at the end of the session in share music, student work, BTEC, your class, your folder. Okay, so that should be pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so just one document on your own personal drive, your own personal computer, and then one upload the entire project to your shared work drive. Okay, so bass track. So let's insert a new instrument track. Add that instrument track, create, and then we'll just go bass, I guess. Actually, we might go synth, but anyway, insert new track. Find an electronic bass sound. Experiment. There are many to choose from. Search for bass and try the sounds out, or choose retro synth from the list and experiment with the presets. Okay, so let's see. So yeah, we'll just type in bass at the top here. As the sheet says, there are lots of basses. That's fine. Analog bass sequence. Let's try this one out. So I'm just going to make a new flipping MIDI region. So control click and then create new MIDI region. Double click to go into the MIDI, and then let's just okay. So that's a bit intense for me, I think. Synth bass. Okay, let's try. That's again a bit intense. Kind of want a fairly dry sound, you know. We don't want like loads of effects on it, loads of reverb. That's a bit much. Synth pop bass line, that could be good. Maybe not. That's not bad. It's kind of cool, but not really what we're going for. Come on. Give me a good one. We've all got effects on them, annoyingly, it would seem. Tell you what. That'll do for now. Syncopated pattern. Again, you can just go through and pick a better one if you find a better one. Okay, we're in arpeggiator, that's probably why. But yeah, go. No, there's still a bit of a I think there isn't there. Synth bass. Sub bass. Tell you what, that'll be fine for now. Okay, so choose the bass and then play this 4-bar pattern in 8 notes. Okay, so notice that the bass line jumps the octaves. Okay, the offbeat notes at the top here. So let's say this first bar, for example, the lower notes are on the on beat, and then these are on the offbeat. Okay. And so yeah, make sure that you pick the correct octave. I'll show you how to do that. Make sure you don't go up 2 octaves, for example, or it's not too low that it just sounds a bit, you know, rubbish. And it's not too high that it sounds too squeaky, because it's obviously supposed to be a bass line. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So we got C1. So we can tell which note we're trying to pick out here. C1. So that is C1. We want to go 2 above that. And then we want to go the octave up. So we've got C2 here. So C2 is precisely an octave above C1. Okay. So we got C1. So this is 2 semitones above C1. We want to go 2 semitones above C2. Still quite low. Might even. So in this particular sound, I think it sounds better when it's up the octave. So we'll just go on C2 and C3. Okay, and then basically we just want it to go, as you can see here, it just sort of repeats 4 times. So I want to copy and paste that, so we can just highlight the track, or the notes rather. Alt, click, drag. Okay, that's fine. And then we can just copy that over. Again, Alt, click, drag. And then we have these notes. So let's find what note is next. Let's just check that sounds right. Okay, so it looks like okay, yeah, ignore me, sorry, my bad. I think I got the wrong note there. It's actually a semitone up, as you can hear by listening back to it. That's why you need to listen. Okay, there you go. So we have that, and then see, next one is 2 semitones down. So we can just drag these, just copy this over, drag them down. Okay, and we can just drag this over again. Select these, and let's find out where these are. Okay, so that looks like it's that's up there. Okay, that's fine, and then we can just drag this again, and then we can select these notes, and let's see where these are. So these are 2 semitones above, and then we go up like that. Okay, so that sounds right to me. Let's just check it with this. Cool. There you go. Yes. Yeah, let's just keep with that for now. Okay, that's fine. So, brilliant. So we've checked it with the original. That sounds fine. The next thing we'll need is strings. Okay. So we'll need to insert a new track. So we just go plus software instrument create. Find electronic string sound, experiment, there are many to choose from. So that's strings, and then try out the different presets. Okay, strings. So like hip hop strings, that sounds about right. And then again, we'll just go control click, create MIDI region. Let's see what else. And then you can draw, or you can play the following notes in semi-brief sequence. Okay, so let's see. We'll just open this, double click to get the piano roll for this track. We'll go back onto the preview. Cool. So, number 4. So it looks like that is up here. Okay, cool. So these are semi-breathe notes, or whole notes, so they take up the whole bar. So you can literally drag that across the whole bar. So I'm noticing that's pretty loud in comparison to the others, so I'm just going to drag that down. Alright, and then again, I'll just copy and paste this. So again, Option, click, drag, click on there, and then let's see what the next note is. Okay, so that's 2 semitones down. Just drag. Great, okay, and then we'll just do the same again. Oh, click, drag. And then where's the next note? Okay, so that's up there. Okay, brilliant. And then we will do the same. Copy that over. And that is 2 semitones above the last one, so we'll just drag that up here. Cool. There you go. So that sounds about right to me. Let's scroll down. So it looks like we've basically done it now. We just have the extension left. Okay, so add another MIDI instrument line. 12 bars. Okay, so first thing it says, copy your 3 MIDI parts for another 12 bars. Okay, so these are our 3 MIDI parts. 1, 2, 3. So we'll copy these tracks. So you can see that it goes up to bar 5 here. Okay, you see the 5. What we want to do is drag them for 12 bars. Okay, until it gets to the 12. That's fine. Okay, so now we have it for 12 bars. Brilliant. From bar 5, add another instrument track, recording the MIDI in from the keyboard. Just use the black keys on the keyboard. Okay, that will basically just ensure that what you are playing is in key. Okay, so just use the black keys on the keyboard. If you have an actual MIDI keyboard, you can just play it in if you like, or you can just use the black keys on the piano roll. Okay, so let's get a new track. So go plus, software instrument, create. And what we want to do is, as it says in the document, we want to create a new one from here, from bar 5. So create MIDI region, double click. Let's get the right sound. So let's just say we want to get like a synth, synth lead. Go on, let's have a cool one. Brilliant. So let's see what that sounds like. Okay, that sounds fine. So again, you can play this if you have a MIDI keyboard. You can just play this in, but I haven't got a MIDI keyboard at the minute, so I'm just gonna program it in. And again, this can be any melody you want. You can just have a bit of fun with this, try and write something. And again, you want to keep it on the black keys, okay? And then it will definitely be in tune. keep it going. Okay, so this is just a... So, pretty basic melody there. You can play around, have a go, hopefully make something a lot better than what I just did, but give it a try, and I'm just going to sort of copy it over, really, I think, for the time being. Let's see, so let's just check what it says in here, make sure we've all done it correctly. So set new instrument track, get plug-in instrument sound, get a sound that you're happy with. Check the keyboard's attached and working with the instrument sound. Okay, so that's if you have a MIDI keyboard. Make sure that it's obviously working. Improvise with your new instrument sound, and write another line. Okay, so basically just what I did. You can either create one in the piano roll or play it in. If you're playing it in, just make sure you arm the track. I'm not sure if you have to do that in GarageBand. Doesn't seem to give you an option. And then make sure you edit. You quantize your track if you did play it in. Okay, so you just highlight everything. You either highlight it all like that, or you just go Command A, and it highlights it all. And then you can just hit the Q, and it will quantize it. If I'd have played that in, you would have seen it jump to the beginning of the bar line, but you didn't see that because it was all perfectly in time because I just programmed it in. Okay, great. Extension 2, use audio effects. Okay, so use compression, reverb, EQ and delay on your MIDI sound to make them sound more interesting and more powerful in your mix. Insert effects into the audio effects box on each instrument track. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, so just double click on here. So this is the track that we used to create our melody with. Okay, so we double click on the bottom of the track, just like that. There you go. And then down here you'll see, so this is Alchemy. This is the synth that has been used to create the sound. And then below we have all of the inserts that you can use for EQ, for example, or compression or reverb or whatever it is. So we'll come down here. Let's just get an EQ to begin with, okay? Maybe you want to add a low pass filter. Sorry, high pass filter. I want to do that, that's fine. Great, so just have a play around with that, see if there are any frequencies that you don't like that you can scoop out, or if there are any frequencies that you do like that you can add. Okay, so have a mess around with that. So you can also adjust the EQ band. So as you can see, the band is getting narrower as I turn the Q up. However, it gets wider as I turn the EQ down. So it's just round here. What if it's narrower? I'll just increase it just so you can see a bit easier. It's a bit weird. Come on. Why is it not just... Come on. Okay, but basically, if you turn the Q up, then it will get narrower, and it will boost less or cut less frequencies. As you turn the gain up, it will increase the... if you turn the gain up, you can see it goes to plus 14. That's boosting a lot. Obviously, the less it will boost. And then you've got the frequency on the left, so that's changing. Let's say we want it around about here, that's fine. So that's EQ, and then we'll add a bit of dynamic, so compressor. Generally we'll go to 4.1 on the ratio. I'm gonna play around with it, see how strong you want it. Around about minus 20 on the threshold is about right, I think. Okay, so now let's add some reverb. Let's go Space Designer. Okay, that's cool. And then you can have a flick through the presets if you want to change the sound of the reverb. And then we'll go get some delay. Let's go stereo delay. Okay, so with stereo delay, it basically gives you 2 tracks of delay. So you have left and right. This is a quarter note. This is an 1/8 note, or crotchet and a quaver. You can mess around with these. If you want a quicker delay, then you can choose something faster. If you want a slower delay, you can choose something slower. And then the feedback is how much that sound echoes. So if you turn that all the way down for both channels, then it will only repeat once. If you turn it all the way up, then it will repeat a lot. I'd want a pretty tight delay, I think, so I'd probably just turn that down to about there-ish. And that's all you're going to really need to pay attention to, I think, really. You can have a mess around with the other bits, but those are the main controls. That's about it, really. Let's see what else. So that's extension 2 done. Extension 3, add another drum in. So add another drum / percussion instrument and program this 1-bar collapse line. Yeah, notice the collapse are played on both beat 2 and 4. It's 2 and 4, and yeah, let's give that a try. Okay, so we can just maybe introduce that around about here. Double click on here. Let's find the clap sound. So clap, there you go, there's the clap. Okay, so these are the 2 and the 4 beats. So you want the clap to come in here and here. There and there. There, there. There. There, 2 and the 4 beat, 2 beat, 4 beat, 2 beat, 4 beat, and then let's just do the last 2. Okay, so that just gives it an extra clap, and then you can add a extension 4, add a 1-bar drum fill to a new drum instrument, which would go at bar 4, and lead into bar 5. Okay, so let's just create another. So it says on a new drum track. Okay, so let's create a new drum track, and we can probably just get the same one. Just probably just get the same 909. And let's do the same thing. Create MIDI region. And let's see. So it should go from bar 4 to 5. The velocity should be edited so the snare drum gets louder throughout the bar. Okay, so let's go down here. So let's find the snare drum. That's the snare drum. So what we want to do is we want to have a whole load of snare drums. So if you play that, so that sounds okay, but it's a bit robotic. It's a little bit hasn't got much movement to it, and I think we want to mess around with the velocity in order to make it sound a little bit more interesting. Okay, so we're just going to go show/hide automation. Okay, click on that, and then what we need to do is we need to make sure that all of the notes are selected. So we just go Command A, or we can just drag them like that, and then you notice that all of these things go white here. Now what we can do is we can just drag a line. Okay, so just click and drag, and you'll see a little green line, and then you'll notice that they all go up. Now I'll have a listen. Okay, so you can see that the volume has sort of increased as it goes along. Okay, basically what velocity is it determines how hard the note is hit. So obviously when the velocity is low, it's not being hit very hard. As it gets higher, the velocity increases. So it gets perceived as being louder. Cool. And then once you've done that, you're basically done, really. Give it a little mix. Make sure that, you know, make sure that the sounds are right. Maybe you want a new, I mean, for example, I know I'd probably want a new bass sound. Have a little mess around with the tracks. Make sure they're all balanced correctly. Okay, so mess around with the balance of the faders, and then you're good to go. Really, you're good to go. And then finishing. So when you've finished, check your work is in time, in tune and key. Have a peer, another student, listen to your work. Check for issues. Obviously, you know, with us being at home, that could be difficult. So you'll have to sort of trust yourself there, or me and Adam or Paul can listen to it during the lessons, and then bounce your file. Okay, so you just go. Okay, so you go to share. If you want to bounce it, you go to share, export song to disk. Then you go to MP3. Name it here, so it should automatically come up with the project name. So you can just name it that. You can just get rid of that part. So more Ollie, E flat minor dance, and then just hit export. And then it will export it for you. And you're all good, okay? Tell you what, before you do that, actually, it could be an idea to do that just to make sure it doesn't export too much of your track. But it should automatically stop once the audio stops. But yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. Cheers.